I want to push women forward, particularly women of color. I think it's time that we're sitting on the other side of the table, and the other side of the table being at owners of the business, and we all need money. You know, some of us say, oh, I don't really need, everybody needs money. You need money so you don't have to worry about money.
You are definitely a lady of influence for me. Hi, this is Ladies of Influence. I am comedian Kelly Howard, actress, writer, and I am sitting here, oh my God, I am so honored to be with the former Social Secretary of President Barack Obama. She's sitting here with me now, Desiree Rogers. Oh my God, I am so happy to be here.
Well, I'm happy to be here
This
too.
is like amazing for me. You were also the former CEO for Johnson Publications. Like
Yes.
you've done so much in your lifetime, and I just want to know, how did you even get started? How did you?
Well, you know what? I'm from New Orleans. My grandmother and my mother, they both had companies. And so actually my grandmother started a business when she saw women working outside of the home. And she thought, where are those children gonna go? And so she started daycare centers in New Orleans.
Oh, nice.
So I was one of their first students, can you believe it?
That-
So I saw
that
them
is-
working side by side, growing their business.
That's pretty awesome. And is that what helped you move into your next venture in life, where you
Well-
purchased Black Opal?
Well, it helped me to see that things could get done if you worked hard. And so
Okay.
one of the things, you know, my latest venture is makeup for women of color.
Yeah.
And so I'm so lucky, my partner and I, Cheryl McKissick, we were able to buy Black Opal Cosmetics about 8 months ago. It seems like 2 years, but it's only been 8 months.
And that was influenced from your grandmother and her entrepreneurship and just them showing you those examples.
Well, and she used to buy her makeup from the drugstore. So we're at Walmart, CVS, Rite Aid, and so I saw how important it was for her to have her makeup displayed on her dresser. And so I thought, boy, we can take this full circle. We can modernize the product that we have, make certain that it meets our eco standards, and have everything be under $20. What about that?
Under $20.
I know we were talking about that
We were,
earlier.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's tough to do and make it eco-friendly
And quality, a good quality.
and quality.
And work.
Okay, now you gotta have some gems in there for you to go from that, from former first Social Secretary of President Barack Obama, then to CEO, and you had a multitude of other jobs in between. There has to be like some type of tips or ideas you can give that little black girl at home thinking about starting her own business. Like,
Yeah,
what
you know,
were
I
some
think
of
the first thing, and people say this all the time, but this whole idea that you can. You know, so people talk and talk and talk and they don't start. They're like afraid. You have to be a little bit courageous. You can't take yourself too seriously. You also have to be open to failure because you are going to fail at something, for sure. I always say I take all my failures, I put them in a trunk, and I put them under my bed, and I never look back at that trunk except to put one more failure in there. So you just have to get comfortable with the fact that, you know what, you're not going to get everything right. It's how you manage after that that really is the key. And, you know, I take a bath, a long bath. You know, I talk to friends.
sounds peaceful.
But you have to get over it and you have to move on and you have to try not to repeat that same failure. And so I think part of it is just getting started. Stop talking and let's start walking and moving towards those ideas and getting them done.
Now, you say you put all of your failures in the trunk and push them away and don't look at them until that next failure come up. What is one failure that you've experienced that shows up for you, you know, emotionally or mentally? It just comes up and you remember that, like, oh yeah, that was the one that really pushed me to make change or grow.
I don't think it was one thing, but I think that part of it was taking so much time to get to where I am today. And people will say, well, that's just your life's journey. But I really shied away from anything that I thought might be construed as frivolous. And so you look at the industries I've been in, utilities, insurance, telecom, you know, were those really my passions and my loves? No. And so now I'm doing something that I love, but I waited a long time to be courageous enough, I think, to step out and say, here's who I really am. This is what I really want to be involved in. This is what I really want to do. I really want to be in a business that I feel is supportive of women. And so it's just being confident enough to take that step and that leap, because this is all I got. If I don't make it on this, I'm going to be really upset. I don't know if this will fit in the trunk.
Right. Yeah.
You
Now,
know?
how did you cultivate that confidence though, and that courage? Like,
I
how
think
do you
just taking it and taking step by step, and you get a few successes. That helps. You know, you surround yourself with people that are truthful and honest with you. That really helps.
Yeah.
In a meaningful, in a way that you hear.
Okay.
As people can say things to you, you don't really hear them. It's like wonk wonk, but you have to make certain that you are surrounding yourself with people that you do listen to and that you do hear.
Now, how do you balance being an entrepreneur, right, and making money to comfortably sustain a lifestyle that you've created for yourself
Well, being
over
an
years?
entrepreneur is making money. And so the goal.
Well, yeah, and I mean, it should be,
right, it should
ideally.
be. It has to be, yeah. So that is the goal. And so I think part of it is, you know, you want to have the passion to do the work. You want to have the understanding to know that right off the bat, you may not be able to make the kind of money you think you should be making, or you make a little bit of a sacrifice. But you put realistic goals in place. And, you know, what I found by doing that and really thinking through it, don't pretend it's going to be better than it is.
Yeah.
You know, always be really conservative in terms of what your expectation is of yourself. You know, and I learned that I had cancer, I had breast cancer. And one of the things that, you know, I would do is I'd make little successes for myself every day. And those successes could be as easy as being able to stay up for 10 minutes to watch a show. You know, so I didn't make it like I have to watch the whole show,
Yes.
otherwise I'm a failure. And so part of the trick in tricking your mind is to set yourself up for success, and you just get better and better and better.
I love that. I love that idea of just figuring out what works for you.
Right.
I have a thing I do called Be Less Petty. It's a podcast and a YouTube channel, Be Less Petty TV, and it's all about being less petty with your time, space, and energy. Being able to analyze the habits and things that are being detrimental to your quote-unquote success or growth, and being very petty about them or less petty about them to be able to change them. And
You are right, though. You can waste so much time
Yes.
worrying about things you can't change.
that you can't change. They're
You
petty.
can't
They're
change,
small.
Or it was a mistake. I
Yeah,
got it. It
so
was a
what?
mistake. I'm not going to do it again. Let's move forward.
Absolutely. That is beautiful. I love that. So, being an entrepreneur in today's time, there's a huge social presence involved with that. Social media, Facebook, Instagram, right? You got to constantly be promoting yourself. How have you adjusted to that aspect? Because it wasn't
you're
part of the
right,
deal,
you're right.
you know, 50
I'm
years
working
ago.
on it, so I'm
Okay.
not perfect.
Okay.
But part of what I'm doing might be old school, but just trying to get out there. You know,
Okay.
trying to be in the community, trying to show up places, talking about what I'm doing, trying to really get a relationship with people, you know, that are bigger than
Yeah.
myself, because guess what? They help. They help to build those networks.
Absolutely.
They help to, you know, say, Desiree, hey, I think you should be here, or how about coming here, or how about doing this? And so it's a process, but I want it to be a very natural and authentic process, and not something that's cookie cutter just because everyone says I need to do this and have this
absolutely.
Instagram and this Facebook, and also it takes a lot of time
does.
because I'm that person from New Orleans. If you're talking to me, I want to talk back to you. So then it's like all night. Oh, that's right, girl. And what about this? Or guy, or whoever it is.
Yeah.
I don't want those comments to just be sitting there and me not responding.
Engage in them.
Not
Yeah, yeah,
responding.
yeah.
That just doesn't seem right to me.
So I know you engage with the social public quite often. You were on the floor at Walmart. Tell me that story.
I was on the floor last Friday at the Walmart here in Chicago. And the reason I was on the floor is because I got there. We have new displays going up, and I'm so excited about these displays. And I think those are Instagrammable moments for people just based on what we have on the wall. We're saying crazy stuff like black don't crack, and we're saying don't be ashy and gray no more. You know, all kinds of really fun. Don't dim your
Yeah.
light. And so I noticed that my display wasn't right. And I'm like, how can this be? And so I waved at the camera because I didn't want him to come and like take me away, because I was literally taking things off
Yeah,
the
and they're like,
wall,
what is she doing in the-
rearranging the lipsticks. No, I'm not taking them, rearranging them, putting them in color order,
Yeah.
and making certain that it was going to be what we hoped it would be for people coming forward. And I met a lot of people that are like, Desiree, is that you? I'm like, yes, it is.
That is
Try the
amazing.
lipsticks. Come try the powder.
That is amazing.
You know, but this is the thing you have to do. I felt great about it. Actually, I could have stayed there all day. I met so many people, but I had to go back
And
to
to
the
me,
office.
that
I
feels
had to go
so
back
much
to the
better than a
office.
social post. Like, I feel so much more connected if I'm walking in a Walmart and I see you.
Well, I'm like
That's-
saying this powder would be great on you. I mean, this one woman,
Yeah.
we helped her with her color matching. We got some ideas about maybe what's working, what's not working. I mean, isn't that where you make things happen? You know, that's how it happens. Me sitting in an office pretending this is great is not the same as having a dialogue and conversation with people that are actually shopping the store.
And by the way, I love the names Black Don't Crack, Ashy. I love those. It's almost
You know, we
it's
debated that in the office.
It's empowering.
Because people said, should we say that? Should
Yes,
we say ashy? I'm
yes.
like, do you want to be ashy?
It's empowering. It's taking back this idea of something we've always struggled with, first of all, you know, with
Every
a multitude
child
of brands.
knows their
Yes.
mother always has lotion for them when you're a little kid. You know that's
Or
right.
Vaseline,
oil,
or grease
something.
you up with Crisco.
Something.
You got something.
Something. So
Yeah.
moms take care of the little babies, but then we get older and we forget.
Now, do you consider yourself, with all this being said, do you consider yourself an influencer?
I think so in certain circles.
I'm influenced by you.
Well, not yet, but I'm working on you. I'm working on you. I think that part of it is, you know, I try to tell the truth.
Yeah.
And when I say try to tell the truth, I always want to tell my truth. And I always am open to any questions that anyone might have about what I've done, what lessons I've learned, all of that stuff, but really from their perspective. And so I think that sometimes I've been able to, quote unquote, influence people to maybe take a different action, or people call me up and say, how about this? And we talk about different things. So if you call that influence, I guess, you know, I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I'm okay with it. I want to push women forward, particularly women of color.
You just influenced me to put SPF 15 on my face, minimum, because you look amazing.
Thank you, and so do you.
So,
do you,
yes.
but we want to keep that.
We wanna keep
wanna
that.
keep
Yes,
that
yes,
look.
yes.
We want to keep that look. And so I think, you know, it's about sharing. It's about being honest. It's about not just following the flow and you know, just, you know, this is the way everything has to be done the same way. I don't believe in that. I don't
Yeah.
believe in boxes. I believe in breaking out of boxes. I believe in, you know, people being who they are genuinely. I know authenticity is this big word now. Well, come on.
So you
we should
don't-
all be who we are.
You don't find that there's any disadvantages or advantages of being a woman of color? You don't see that?
Well, I've always been a woman of color. So it's hard for
Absolutely.
me to say what would my life be
What
like
would
if
my-
I was
if- yeah, if
Derek
I was
Rogers and I was a white
That's
blonde
so
man
true.
with blue eyes.
That's
I don't
so
know
true.
what my life would be
What
like.
could those be?
I
Yeah,
just
yeah,
don't
yeah.
know because
Yeah.
I've always been a black woman.
Yeah,
and
me
I think
too.
that's probably never going to change here.
Me
and
too.
so, you know, I know my life as I know my life as a black female in America.
And you just execute. You just take it. You just move forward.
Well, I
Yeah.
watch and I look. I mean, one of the things in terms of myself and my partner buying this cosmetics line is, you know, women of color over-index in hair products, makeup, skincare. We buy all of that. So I think it's time that we're sitting on the other side of the table, and the other side of the table being at owners of the business, so that we can invest in other owners of businesses that support us, as well
Absolutely.
as invest in all of the people that are working with us to bring this brand to life. And so that is a huge moment for me. I'm very proud of the fact that I've gotten to this point to be able to do that, and I want to share that with other women. How can they do that? And so the price point I mentioned earlier is under $20. Well, guess what? That opens up a conversation about money, and we all need money. You know, some of us say, "Oh, I don't really need." Everybody needs money. You need money so you don't have to worry about money.
Oh, so there's a financial teaching component within this as well.
Well, just, you know, a financial conversation, you
Yeah,
know, because
conversation.
I really think my grandmother showed me that financial independence is really the way to go. And so she started as a domestic. She saved money over a period of time and then was able to save enough money to start a small business, which was the daycare business, which she grew over time. and employed most of my family, quite frankly, and was able to save money to send me to the schools that I went to.
Wow.
So it's possible.
Yeah.
It is possible. Short-term sacrifice for long-term gain.
Absolutely.
And there's no freedom like the freedom of having your own money.
I know that's right. Me and my husband just bought our very first home a week ago. That's how new it is.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
And so we're starting to realize, like, he always knew that, but I wasn't so like, and I'm like, okay, it's time to really get serious about my
You have to
finances and
buckle
understand,
down, yes.
which has made me get serious about my business finances as well, because
Right.
it's all.
But don't you feel
kind of
proud?
I do.
And
feel,
good?
I do. I feel
And like
empowered.
you're
like I can
making
do
it, I'm
anything.
doing it, I've got my
Yes.
own place.
Absolutely.
It just changes your whole
It does.
sense of what am I doing here in this life? Mm-hmm. And now you're freed up to do other things.
Other things.
And
we sacrificed. We were in a very small apartment. We were doing because we
See?
knew what our goals were, and so I totally
it's not
get that.
easy, but
It's
it
not.
works. It works.
But it works.
Yes,
If you
it
keep
does
the
work.
end game in
Yes,
mind.
it works.
Yes.
Maybe a less pair of shoes or whatever.
I know, right?
Right?
Yeah,
I know, but it works. It works.
This was amazing. Like, you are definitely a lady of influence for me. I am proud to have spoke with you today. I'm excited, and yeah, man, I'm really looking forward to this.
All right. Well, I have to come and see your show.
You gotta come see my
Yes,
show.
yes, I do.
Yeah. It's not as clean as the Lady of Influence, but you will have a good time for sure.
All righty.
Thanks for sharing this moment with me.
Thank you.